Welcome, welcome, welcome to Storytime. Welcome, welcome, come right in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Storytime. Welcome, welcome, let's begin. Welcome to Storytime at Auburndale Public Library. I'm Miss Rhonda.
I'm Miss Isabella.
And today we're going to talk about a stinky moose.
Ooh, that doesn't smell too great.
Yeah, well, we learned that it's important to take a bath anyway.
All right.
And the name of this book is Mucky Moose. It's written by Jonathan Allen and illustrated by him as well. And we're thankful that Macmillan Publishers is letting us read this today. Let's see what happens to this stinky moose. In the tall, dark forests of the north, there lived a moose. His name was Mucky. He was called Mucky because he was mucky, the muckiest, smelliest moose that ever lived. Now, there was one muddy swamp in which every moose would wallow, but some parts were much too smelly and sludgy for most moose. But these were Mucky's favorite wallowing places. Mucky was so smelly that he attracted flies from miles away. They buzzed around his head in a big cloud. Birds perched on his antlers and snapped up the flies, while frogs sat on Mucky's nose and caught flies too. Mucky was so smelly that when he walked through the forest, all the other animals kept out of his way, all except the skunks, that is. Skunks, as everyone knows, they smell terrible, but no skunk was even half as smelly as Mucky. Whenever skunks met Mucky, they were so impressed by his powerful smell that they gave him a round of applause. In the forest, there were lots of wolves. Everyone knows that wolves sometimes eat moose. When the biggest wolf in the forest heard about Mucky, the largest moose in the forest, he decided to eat him for dinner. I'm the biggest wolf in the forest, and I'm extra hungry, so I'm going to eat the biggest moose in the forest, he declared. One morning, as Mucky was walking back from his daily smelly wallow, a cloud of flies buzzing around him, a couple of birds on each antler, the huge wolf stepped out in front of him. "I'm going to eat you for my dinner," he snarled. "I just thought you might like to know." "How interesting," replied Mucky, "but I'm afraid that doesn't fit in with my plans." The wolf was furious. No one had ever dared speak to him like that. He drew himself up to spring at Mucky. Then, suddenly, the wind changed direction and blew Mucky's horrible smell right at him. Wolves have very sensitive noses. To a wolf, Mucky's smell was positively dangerous. The wolf let out a sort of choking noise and stopped in his tracks. He turned green, yellow, then green again, and his toes curled and he collapsed in a dead faint. "Not hungry anymore?" Mucky chuckled as he continued on his way. When the wolf recovered, he was very angry indeed. "I'll get that moose," he growled. A few days later, Mucky was strolling through the forest when the wolf once more stepped out in front of him. This time the wolf had a clothespin on his nose to protect him from the moose's dangerous smell. "I'm going to eat you for my dinner," he cried as best he could. "You're going to do what?" "I'm going to eat you for my dinner," yelled the wolf, his voice shaking with anger. "I'm sorry, but I can't understand a word you're saying with that thing on your nose," Mucky said. The wolf sputtered, then snatched the clothespin off his nose. "I said I'm going to eat you for..." "Ugh!" As Mucky's smell hit him, the wolf turned green, then yellow. His ears curled up and his tail bent like a corkscrew. Then his legs crossed and he fell sideways in a faint, even more deadly than before. "Dear, oh dear," said Mucky as he stepped over him and continued his stroll through the forest. "Poor Wolfie's been taken ill. What a shame." It took the wolf a week to recover. He was beside himself with anger. "I'll fix that smelly monster of a moose." He was walking back from his daily wallow, and Mucky was surprised to see the wolf step out in front of him again. This time, he was wearing a mask. "Aha!" he cried in a muffled voice. "Got you now, Mucky Moose. Prepared to be my dinner, and about time too, I'd say." The wolf drew himself up to his full height, ready to spring. "Sorry, Mr. Wolf," said Mucky, "but how are you going to bite me with the mask on?" The wolf hadn't thought of that little detail. Thinking was not his strong point. "Nar!" he yelled in frustration, tearing the mask from his face. "Smell or no smell, I'm going to eat you now." With a roar, he leaped at Mucky, fangs bared. And when the smell hit him this time, he turned not only green, then yellow, but purple too. His eyes crossed, his knees knocked together, and his tail revolved at high speed. Finally, his legs buckled, and he fell sideways in a dead faint for the third time. Mucky shrugged and with shaking his head, stepped over the wolf's body and continued on his way. The wolf did not bother Mucky again after that. He left the forest forever, never to return. Changing his ways, he went to the nearest city to become a guide wolf for the blind. The other wolves sensibly kept away from Mucky, who just went on, as he always had, wallowing happily in the smelliest parts of the swamp he could find and talking to his friends, the birds, the frogs, and the skunks. The end. That was one smelly moose.
It sure was, Miss Rhonda.
Ooh. And now we have 5 wolf pups.
Ooh, all right. Get your counting fingers out. You ready, Miss Rhonda?
I'm ready.
All right, so 5 little wolf pups playing in the sun. This one saw a rabbit, and he began to run. Ooh, there he goes. Then this one saw a butterfly, and he began to race. There he goes. And then this one saw a cat, and he began to chase. Then this one tried to catch his little tail, and he went around and around and around. There he goes. And then the last one was so quiet he never made a sound.
Good little wolf pup. Well, our moose wasn't squeaky clean, but we've got some piggies this morning that are squeaky clean, or trying to be.
You're trying.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see what happens to them.
All right.
3 pigs so squeaky clean, cleanest you've ever seen, wanted to go outside and play. Oink, oink. One jumped into the mud, landed with a big thud. Now there are 2 pigs squeaky clean. Oink, oink. 2 pigs so squeaky clean, cleanest you've ever seen, wanted to go outside and play. Oink, oink. One jumped into the mud, landed with a big thud. Now there's just 1 big squeaky clean pig.
Oink, oink.
1 pig so squeaky clean, cleanest you've ever seen, wanted to go outside and play. Oink, oink. She jumped into the mud, landed with a big thud. Now there are no pigs squeaky clean. Oink,
Oink,
oink.
oink.
Pigs don't stay clean very long.
Oh, they love that mud.
But you know what? We need to stay clean.
We sure
We gotta
do.
have that bath, and we gotta wash our hands a lot during the day.
Yep.
So, wash your hands, soap and make them clean. Scrub the germs till they fall off. Germs go down the drain. All right. Yes, and now we have another story. I think this moose is a little cleaner. His name is Ernest, the Moose Who Doesn't Fit, by Catherine Rayner. And again, Macmillan Publishing is allowing us to read this book. Let's see what happens with Ernest. Ernest is a rather large moose. He's so large that he cannot fit inside this frame. Luckily, Ernest is also a very determined moose. He's not going to give up easily. He struggles to shimmy, shift, and shuffle in forward. He tries to squidge, scrooge, and squeeze in backward. Is it working? Not yet, no. Ernest's middle fits in easily, but what about the rest of him? He's very disappointed. This book is just too small for him. Or is it? Ernest's little friend has a big idea. Okay, let's see what happens. What are they going to do? She fetches some masking tape, and Ernest collects some paper. Got paper? Oh yeah, there's some paper.
Watch out, Ron.
What are they going to do? Together they carefully crinkle, crumple, and stick. They're very busy for a very long time. Boy, I hear them back there. They're working, yes. Finally, they are finished. Ernest may be a rather large moose, but now he has a rather large book, and he fits in perfectly. Look at that. They made it bigger with all that paper. How nice. Very clever moose. Well, we want to share with you our new thing for November. We're in November now.
We sure are, Rhonda.
And that means that Thanksgiving is this month.
Ooh.
So we have a program called our Turkey Lurkey Contest. We have a little craft bag at the library for you to come pick up that has things to make a turkey in it. And we want you to make a turkey however you want to. You may even have things at home that you'd rather use to make your turkey special, because then we would like for you to take a picture of you and your turkey doing some kind of activity, going on a trip. We want to know what your turkey is doing this month with you.
Sure do.
And we will be doing that for 2 weeks between until November 14th. And then what we want you to do during that time, after you've made your turkey and taken a picture, we want you to send it to us at, libraryprogram@auburndalefl.com. And we're going to end up putting this on our webpage as well. So you'll be able to look at that this week sometime and see it. And then the week of the 16th through the 20th, we will display those pictures and we will have our patrons vote.
Wow.
People who check out will get a ticket to vote, and then if someone isn't checking out possibly, they can buy a vote for $1. So we will have 3 winners. So we really want you to become a part of our contest. We want to see where your turkey is lurking. So that is in That's now. You can do that now.
That's exciting.
Yes. Well, that's the end of today. That's all we have. So, it's time to end our day. It's time to end our day. It's time to say a big hooray and then be on our way. It's time to end our day. It's time to end our day. It's time to say a big hooray and then be on our way. Bye. See you next week.